Right, here we are, people. I've just got back from Wakefield, where I've been and did a short live, and did a revisit through the ridings. I was pretty shocked at the reaction I got in ridings, to be honest, because as you saw in our revisit last time with Marty Blackberry, myself and Charlotte Jones, the manager gave us permission and said, knock yourselves out, lads, get on with it. So when I got stopped today and told that I couldn't film again, I don't know what to say, apart from, I'm sorry, security, but we are coming back until you get the message. These masks are alright, but I need one of them round ones to go underneath mouthpiece, because they're a bit clingy to your mouth and they affect how you talk and that. So I want this talk to be about at the end of 1981, towards October time. I was still the orderly in hospital wing in Armley Prison, where I'd fed Ripper and one or two other prisoners that I've mentioned on other videos. I don't want to get too much into that because I get a bit het up when I think about certain people that were on that ward at the same time, because there were so many of them kept in cells because they were very dangerous and needed 5 and 6 officers to unlock. Others were on the ward, which is where the lad from Fitzwilliam was. He were actually restrained to the bed. It were horrible. So anyway, after all that, it got to a time where they were shipping me out, and they sent me to HMP the Castle, Lancaster. What a cushy little nick that was. First job I got when I went in there was the sewing machine repair shop. We mended all the sewing machines from all different prisons all over the place, and the buttonholers and the ones they used to sew the mailbags with. I even sewed mailbags by hand, 8 stitches to inch, with wax string. You had all the seams and the things to sew on, the tags to hang it up and that. And then what they did, they made that many. So many went to post office, and others, they put weights to them and everything else and took them out to sea and used them like reefs, sunk them for, and sea took over and made them like reefs, wave breakers and stuff. So I suppose they did come to some good use. Now, sewing machine repair shop was a good shop, but whilst I was in there, an opportunity came along to apply to go in kitchen. And everybody knows them kitchen jobs in prisons. They're jobs you want, because that's where all perks are. All tea, sugar, everything, coffee, all fiddles, cheese. You'd be surprised how much cheese you can sell up on wing. So we had all fiddles going, all usual ones. Now Mr. Parkinson, who was kitchen screw at the time, he was senior officer, and he was very, very easy to manipulate. We used to big him up and everything all day, and then at the end of the day he'd surprises and pull a tray of steak out he'd thrown in and serve us all round baker's table. He loved it. So anyway, the other officer was Mr. Edge. He were a good screw as well. And just for a little punt, this is going out to me barber. The teeth. Yeah, he knows who I'm on about. Now, Mr. Parkinson, like I say, could be manipulated. And butcher at that time were Taffy Evans. He gave me a dig in showers once when I first went in kitchens. Laid me straight down, I went down like a tree. But I'll give him his due, he didn't attack me while I was down, he just told me to stay fucking down. So I said, sound tough, sound mate. I wasn't gonna fight him, mate. He was an hard man. There's no getting out of it. Taffy was an hard man and the wrong one to cross. And I wasn't gonna do that. I actually liked him. After he gave me that dig, if you're watching, Taff, respect to you, mate. Because after he gave me that dig, and I didn't retaliate, we shook hands later, and we were good friends. So all through the kitchen, while I was in them kitchens, me and Taff took pace all the time with Mr. P and that. Taffy used to show me how to butcher and that. And Mr. Parkinson would come and play fuck and tell him that he'd left meat on bones and he made a point of showing me the proper way. Because he knew I was interested. Well anyway, one day Taffy, he'd got a couple of pigs to do. So what he did, he chopped ears off and left skin on, connecting them, and he put them on his head and smoothed them out, and ears were stood on top of his head like that. When he walked, they flapped about, and because he was about 6 foot as well, Taff, he was a pretty fucking big lad. Excuse swearing, I'm sorry. I'm trying to curb all that. So, as I was saying, Taffy's got these ears on and he was walking across the kitchen to Mr. Parkinson, who was on baker's table, and we're all there rolling bread buns up and throwing them onto the tray. Other lad were throwing them straight into the rotary oven. The time they'd been round rotary oven once, as they were coming back up, you could pull them out, they were done. Fresh bread, couldn't beat it. So anyway, he's walked up to Mr. Parkinson and he said, Mr. P, is there any chance that lad's having a steak today? Because you did say that we were due a treat. And he looked at Taffy and he went, you better get back in that butcher's shop sharpish before I change my mind and sack you. It's only because Taylor is not that good a butcher yet. I went, come on, Mr. P, I can do it. Taffy was saying, shut the fuck up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. But you know what he said. I went in back with Taffy out that way. So anyway, that day, it worked because Mr. Parkinson was there with steak for us at supper time. What a man he was. Now, one of the other things that about Lancaster was, it was where they had the first handless corpse trial, Sinclair. And when I mentioned it to the security when I went and did my Lancaster audit, inside and out, I told him about it, and he said that he had heard about Sinclair, but it wasn't on their leaflets. So all the people that were listening actually stood round me. I could have took them on a tour. Even when I turned my video off, people were still approaching me and asking me, and it was brilliant, really. But I can't wait to go back. After the COVID thing, when they start doing tours, I'm going back. And they also do raves as well. They've had raves in there as well. And another thing that security man told me, it's also been at all women prisoners, which I never knew. He also said what I thought was K-wing, which was circular one, in turret, and then the cells were coffin shaped. You had a bed there, and then walls went like that to window. You had table in the middle, chair on either side, and your lockers at the back of your bed ends. So when you scroll up through the spy hall, it looked like you were laid in a coffin. But that were only on that wing. There were normal cells on A wing, and there were a B wing and that. But I never got to go on there. There were I can't remember what. The kitchen dorms were up in the gym turret. The kitchen dorms were second to top floor. The top floor was association room for Rest at Nick, where they had the billiard table, full-size snooker table, full-size table tennis table, TV, and even a little quiet corner sort of thing. Comfy chair so you could sit and read if you wanted. And that was above kitchen dorm. And then it moved on to other one, which were G-wing, onto top floor on threes. On turret, you had the association at top, kitchen dorm, then court cells, because it's still got its own crown court and everything. In days of witches' trials, it was assizes. So, and then it was, I think it were 2 floors of cells for courts. And then on rest of G-wing, below kitchen dorms, and that was a laundry, and where you had kit and all that, you know, shirts and all that, stores, main stores. And then you had some more down this wall side here, where it met G-wing, and exercise yard went on a slope like that. When you walked in gate, you were looking uphill. Tourists used to come in, because it's one of the main tours round Lancaster, the witches' tours. Because as I've said, it was the Pendle witches. The last 4 Pendle witches to be tried in England were tried here at Lancaster Castle. And what they did, because of public outcry and everything that were going on, I think there were 10 Pendle witches, but this, I'm just talking about the last 4. And the publicity were that bad, because they used to draw and quarter them all as well, and hang on from 4 turrets at Castle. I'd like to put some pictures on here, but I ain't so scared to do that. Lancaster Castle, Marty will show me. So I'm going to do that on my next one when I go back after the COVID thing. And what they did, they found them all guilty, then they took them all out of Lancaster town itself onto a crossroads, and they killed them however they killed them, and quartered them up and buried them beyond the crossroads. And they did that because they believed if they come back to life and wanted to create havoc on Lancaster, they wouldn't know which way to go. So that's another tale. Now, Mr. Parkinson, as I've said, was a hero. And I've told you about the rooftop protest. Kitchen lads had to go in and work nights and clear it all out. And the security, although they knew about that, admitted it weren't on their tour guide card things. But they've got a nice little coffee shop and everything there, and parts of it that I didn't see because there were no-go areas for inmates. Now, on my last 8 weeks, they put me on outside farm, which is now the farms, HMP the Farms, Lancaster. Well, that land that it's all built on was Lancaster's actual farm. So they had bulls and cows and that, pigs. Some massive bulls as well. Bulls, B-U-L-L, not B-A-L-L. Now, I wasn't right happy when I got put out there, but I soon found out it had its advantages. We were sunbathing all day. So, that's just to mention a few things about Lancaster. But what I want to do as well here, because I forgot to mention Mr. Parkinson, was at Preston. When I left Lancaster in 83, I got nicked again and I was banged back up again. And I ended up going back to Preston in 87. Now, I worked on there with Mr. Brown, as I've said, and I sprayed all wings with Portafleck. That's that spettle paint. Even right up to A5 with tower scaffold. That was pretty high, that, when you were on top of that spraying, looking down 5 landings. Well, it was like 6, because above 5 it's like another 2 landings above that to the roof. And I had to spray right to the roof. So anyway, I forgot to mention Mr. Parkinson. So when I was in Preston, I was with Mr. Brown and we run out of sugar. So I said, take me in the kitchen, Mr. Parkinson's SO in here now. So we went in and I reminded him who I was and everything. Yeah, Mr. P. This is Mr. Brown, we ain't got no sugar, Mr. P. I told him you'd sort us out and all that, you know what I mean? You were a gentleman. And bulled him up a bit. And he was that pleased to see me, he gave us some sugar. So, there you go, Mr. Parkinson. Big up Mr. Parkinson. I tried to get in the kitchen and work under Mr. Parkinson again. That would have been alright because I'd have got a good job off him. So I think we'll leave it at that for today. I've put another video up and a live. So I hope you like this, and I've done this today as well to give you a bit of variety, because I wanted to get this video out of the way. I've tried to do it 5 times now, this one. So it gets this dark time, shall I say, over with for me. There's just one exclusive that Live Free knows about that I haven't mentioned. Back in end of 1980, and that was how I came to get the hospital orderly job and be there, hospital orderly, by the time Ripper came. So I'll just thank you all and say big respect, and don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and don't forget to comment and press the thumbs up. Thank you all very much.